Hi guys, I am staring out the window because it's such a beautiful autumn day. And being on this deer farm, I've been watching the movement of um, the utility vehicle herding the deer through the paddock and corralling them down the runway as such, and looking at all the autumn trees in the distance in all the different colors and the mountains. And it just distracted me while I was about to start. So here I am. Um, isn't it amazing how tiny little things just suddenly trigger us or make us think of things? And the people that trigger us, but in a good way, um, they don't even know. They don't even know what they've done. So a friend of mine, a recent new friend, who I just know is going to just be delicious to get to know, is living in a place called Sedona. And when the fire started in Arizona, I said, "Gosh, I hope you're okay." And she came back and she said, "I'm in New York. I didn't even know there were fires there." Anyway, this morning she said now she's back, and she said, "I'm lying on the couch doing absolutely nothing because I've got COVID. So I'm just watching movies." And I thought about that and I thought, actually, she's not doing nothing. What she's doing is she's healing her body. So that's doing something, isn't it? And then I thought, why do we feel so guilty when we do rest? And why do we feel it's okay that we can rest only if we're ill? And it's like a guilt thing. And then I thought, why do we have that? Then I thought, is it associated with self-worth, worth of who we are? So do we just have worth if we're actually doing stuff, if we of service to others, bringing in money, doing a job, baking, cooking, and cleaning, all those kind of things. Sorry, there's now my phone going crazy. So I thought about it, and last night I said to my husband, "Well, imagine if I was paralyzed." Well, no, he said, "I wouldn't like that at all." I said, "No, well, neither would I." I said, "But then," I said, "you would look after me. You'd have to be working, cooking, cleaning, doing everything. Then you would actually know what it is that I do." Because with the spiritual work that I do, so-called spiritual work, he doesn't see the value in that because he can't see any dollar signs. So if there's not a dollar sign attached to it, then as far as he's concerned, that's not work. And how do you actually change somebody's mindset? And it took me back to the story that I heard about that man who was about to commit suicide, who was smiled at by a random stranger and given leeway to cross the road instead of her crossing the road in her car in front of him. And he had never seen such a brilliant smile. That changed his life in that second. And of course, he survived and he didn't commit suicide and he lived to tell the story. And that brings me back to another story of another gorgeous trigger. So, trigger's not always bad. So, there's a lady in South Africa who is an awesome artist, fabulous, fabulous work. And she said she had received a commission from a lady to do a painting. She does huge, huge, big floral, big flowers, peonies, like 3 meters by 2 meters, enormous and just gorgeous. And she said that she was prepping the canvas and she heard this tiny little feeling inside and she didn't know what it was. But she kept on hearing the word courage over and over, courage. And then she doubted herself, but she said it was so strong that she wanted to write that word courage over the artwork. Sorry, she'd already started, she'd already prepped, and she was already halfway through this commission. And she thought to herself, I can't write the word courage on this person's painting. This person hasn't asked me to write this word. And then she started doubting herself, but she said the feeling was so strong that she found a little place in between some buds and everything. She wrote it very subtly and very carefully that unless you knew it was there, you wouldn't really see it. And she wrote the word courage. And when the lady received her painting, she phoned her and said, thank you so much and how fabulous it is. And she said, I've actually got a confession that I wrote the word courage on your painting. And there was dead silence. And then the doubt, of course, flooded her, thinking, what have I done? And the lady started crying. And she said to her that she'd had a terrible car accident. And the two children were in the car. And from that car accident, she was paralyzed. And I thought to myself, that lady that's paralyzed has given this artist such a gift of courage. So there's the lady that's paralyzed that has courage every day. And the artist followed her gut, her intuition, and she had courage to write courage on that painting. And that paralyzed lady, that gorgeous human, hadn't realized the gift that she had now just given the artist. And I thought to myself, wow, the commission of the painting, gorgeous as it is, was not the true gift. That gift was the unlocking of the artist, teaching her now to have the courage to follow her intuition and her gut. And I thought, how much do we listen to of that little voice, that every day that I call my invisible friend? Do we have the courage to listen to it? And do we have the courage to follow through once we have heard it? So I've had a little think about my self-worth. Do I have self-worth? And who gives me self-worth? And how do I limit myself from my old programming, from those loops, the wiring that keeps on playing in my head, that if I'm not bringing in dollars, then I don't have enough worth? I know that's silly. I know it's not true. And it's still an old program. So I've got work to do on myself still. It never ends. So one of these days I think let's do a beautiful meditation. Let's do a meditation online on Zoom together. And let's do it about lifting our vibrations, lifting our self-worth, reminding ourselves how great we are and why we're here. And that you might be commissioning a painting and having no idea how much you've unlocked in somebody else just by that. You don't know how you unlock somebody just by listening to them. You don't know how you unlock by smiling at somebody. You don't know how you unlock somebody by just being you, just being you. What do they say? Everybody else is taken. You have to only just be yourself. So on this gorgeous autumn day, no doubt wherever you are, your weather's different, your seasons are different. But here in New Zealand, we are preparing for winter. And I love winter. It's so cuddly and cozy, and the ski village comes alive with new people, interesting new faces. Being such a little village, we get to know everybody. So it's just nice to see the variety. So it's Wednesday today. So happy Wacky Wednesday to you all. Lots of love. Cheers.